need to help people save. You know, we have a huge problem with people having no assets, nothing to fall back on. Simple. We ought to set up matching savings accounts for low-income families. We ought to match what they're able to save. But here's a more controversial subject. And when I talk about this, depending on where I am, sometimes it gets some squirming. So we'll warn you in advance. But I believe it. You think about those images coming into your TV screens out of New Orleans. The extraordinary, not just racial, but economic segregation. Now, you can't blame New Orleans. It exists all across America. We all know it. We can go put our head against that wall, which is what America's done for the last 3 or 4 decades, and pretend it's not true. Or we can actually try to do something about it. We have a fundamental question to ask ourselves as Americans. Do we actually believe in an America where all of us have equal worth? I believe it to my soul. I think it is the foundation of what makes this country great. Every single person here tonight has equal value. If we believe that, when are we going to actually start living together? Because I'm telling you, this economic and racial segregation is not good and not healthy for America. Here's just one idea to get the ball rolling. How long is it going to take us to figure out that clustering poor people together is not good? You know? Instead of using our public housing vouchers to create housing in the poorest neighborhoods in America, how about if we do something different? How about if we have 1 million new housing vouchers and we use them to allow poor working families to move into better neighborhoods so that they have some mobility? Rich people should not be the only ones in America who have mobility. And then finally, access to college, which some people in this community understand very well. You know, we got Bush and gang cutting billions of dollars out of the federal budget to send kids to college. This is insanity. And by the way, I got one other thing. I didn't mean to get off on this. I am so sick of these Republicans claiming the moral high ground. I mean, I really am. You look at George Bush submits a budget to the Congress, billions of dollars of your money for tax cuts and subsidies for the biggest oil companies in America. Now, appropriate response. I bet a lot of you, like me, have been worried about whether Exxon's making enough money, right? I've had a lot of sleepless nights over that. But in the same budget, he took money away from nutrition programs for the disabled, for poor children, and for seniors. Billions of dollars out of Medicaid. Health care for poor children. Hey, think about this for a minute. Billions of dollars to Exxon, billions of dollars away from health care for poor children. It is immoral. Absolutely immoral. We're better than this. America's better than this. All kids ought to have a chance to go to college. We just got a model program that we put in place in a small county in eastern North Carolina. Private. I raised the money for it. But we say to every kid in the county, graduate from high school, qualified to go to college, commit to work at least 10 hours a week, we pay for your tuition and books. Very simple. It's been incredibly successful in the year it's been in place. Finally, and all of you are sweating saying, about time. Finally, I want to say one last thing. You know, I've had the privilege of being in college campuses, including this one, over the course of the last 2 years, talking to young people. And I always say to young people, I have seen young people on college campuses change America before, as many of you have. I saw young people lead the fight for civil rights in America. Lead it. They didn't wait for their parents or those older than them to tell them what was wrong. They knew what was wrong. And they went out with backbone and courage and passion and fought. They changed this country. They spoke out against the long and bloody war in Vietnam, helped bring down this apartheid regime in South Africa. Young people have changed America before. They can change America again. But they can't do it by themselves. I want to say to you, finally, when I talk about our responsibility, I don't mean mine. I mean ours. Because our power together is so different than my power. Our power to change things is so different. It's all of us. It's all of us together. When we can't wait for somebody else to do it. There's too much at stake. I'll end with a line that I borrowed from an extraordinary woman. She passed away a few years ago, but she was a social activist, an organizer, and she would end her speeches by saying, you know, the leaders we've been waiting for are us. She's exactly right. If we want to live in a moral, honest, and just America, and if we want America to lead in a moral and just world, we have to do it, all of us together, starting with this election in November. God bless you all. It's an honor and privilege to be with you tonight. Thank you.